Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me okay? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Is there sound? Sounds like there is. Okay, great. Excellent. Okay. A little bit of a false start, but we're there. I hope you're all well. I can see there's a few of you in the chat already, which is great to see. I hope your afternoon's going well. I basically wanted to do a review show. I did a preview show for the first time. So I wanted to see how this format works. And if it works out well, then I'll do them more often. And I'll also get guests on. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through the entire game, give you a kind of run through of the game, what happened in the game, a little bit about the stat pack, so the statistics of the game. Also go through the players, what they did in the game, the heat map, the formation, and then kind of get your point of view on how you felt the game was. Some player ratings. I'm not really going to do what other people do with the play rating show, where they get like the team up and then they put the numbers next to them. I'm not going to do it like that. I'm just going to pick out a couple of players and just ask for some ratings on those, because it ends up being quite long and it ends up being quite boring, if I'm honest. So I'm going to do slightly different. And then I'm also going to go through some transfer news, players in, players out, some rumours, and then any other business. So any other questions that you've got, that we can obviously look at. This should be about an hour. My internet's a bit laggy right now, so I might pause or my screen might go freeze for a bit, but it's probably because I've got a load of tabs open. But we'll see how we get on today. So first of all, I'm going to give you a run through of the entire game. This is just kind of a breakdown on the entire game. Okay, so I'll talk about it, and then we'll go into the statistics and the players and the positioning and stuff like that afterwards. Okay, so just bear with me while I just have a general chat about this. So Arne Slot became the first Liverpool manager to win their opening Premier League game with second half goals from Diogo Jota and Mo Salah, seeing off newly promoted Ipswich Town. The game took place at Portman Road. Slot's first lineup featured Ryan Gravenberch as the number 6, with the boss insisting pre-match that the 22-year-old has the attributes to play there, while Andy Robinson got the nod over Kostas Tsimikas at left back. The opening exchanges were, as you'd expect, with a fervent crowd backing the home side in their first game in the top flight in 22 years. Liverpool, meanwhile, looked understandably rusty. In truth, they lacked any kind of characteristics of a Slot side, with the best route to goal via long balls or on the counter-attack. In the first half, the best chances of the first half fell to the home side, while Alisson making a couple of decent saves. Obviously, just breaking down a little bit of that, Gravenberch in the 6 was obviously quite a surprise because he's not played there before for us. And Andy Robinson was a complete shock to me when Kostas Tsimikas had played all of the pre-season and done pretty well. So I feel like he might feel quite hard done by. But as we've also experienced recently, some players are going to get some tough love from Slot, which I haven't got a problem with at all. Arguably the best Reg chance of the half fell to Alexander-Arnold right before the break, but he put his shot over the bar from the edge of the box. It, it wasn't that big a chance, to be fair. The incompetent standard of the refereeing continued into the new season, with Ipswich Wes Burns not given a second booking despite a blatant handball where he literally scooped the ball up. And we can all agree that probably should have been a red card. If that was late on in the second half, it probably would have been a red card. But it was all about the fact that he got a booking early on in the first half, and they didn't want to send him off in the first half when that's irrelevant. After half time, Gerald Quansah was replaced by Ibrahima Konate. That was a big shock. Ibrahima Konate obviously came on and played really well with a sheer domination in defence, with a lot of his duels and all of his headers won, which is something that Gerald Quansah wasn't doing, and that's why he was substituted. But ultimately, in the first half, Gerald Quansah pulled off a fantastic block from a really poor pass from Virgil van Dijk, which was reminiscent of last season for playing daft balls across the box, which caught us out a number of times last season. And Quansah pulled off a really good block. However, he was being dominated in the air, and he didn't win any of his aerial duels, and he also lost quite a few of his ground duels in the first half. So the manager clearly thought that that was a weak point, which he rectified with Konate, and it really helped. I'll carry on. Luis Diaz had a chance after a race move involving Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexander-Arnold, but the number 7's finish was poor before being clattered by the keeper. A story of Diaz's life at Liverpool. Poor finishing when everybody else does the hard work. A superb cross from Trent then delivered the best chance of the game just before the hour, but Diogo Jota headed just wide from 6 yards out. He should have scored. It was a sitter, and we all know. However, it didn't matter, as a minute later, it was actually less than a minute. I think it was like 43 seconds. Jota had the ball in the back of the net from a lovely move that ended with Salah squaring for the Portuguese to finish for the goal of the slot era. So it's nice to see that Diogo Jota scored the first goal under Arne Slot's tenure at Liverpool. And what's also nice to see is the fact that it looks like Diogo Jota is going to be the number 9. He's going to be our main striker, which I think he should have been anyway. And if you ask me on my opinion, Diaz and Darwin Núñez shouldn't have been signed. And we didn't actually need to sign Darwin Núñez because we should have just played Diogo Jota from the start. But it is what it is, and we're here where we are now. I continue. Liverpool were now dominant in the second half, and the second goal arrived 5 minutes later when Van Dijk's long ball, and it was an incredible long ball, by the way, and Virgil did it a number of times. And we also have to give big kudos to Trent as well, because Trent played a lovely ball to Salah, which then Salah set up Jota for the first goal anyway. Van Dijk's long ball played in Salah. He exchanged passes with Dominic Szoboszlai, and it was a lovely assist. And Salah finished for his finished for a record 9th opening day goal of the Premier League season, which has now taken him ahead of Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney and Frank Lampard as well, which is brilliant. More records for Salah. It's what we love. The Reds controlled the game better and created plenty of chances. Salah was especially enjoying himself with a lovely ball releasing Diaz. Liverpool should have scored more. A 4v2 counter-attack later on being a prime opportunity to do so. Slot will no doubt highlight areas of important improvements, but a win and a clean sheet is an ideal start. The improvements in the second half will be especially pleasing. And that's my basic synopsis on the game. I also wanted to go through a couple of other things as well. So just a couple of talking points. So first of all, my view of the game, whether you agree with me, write it in the chat. But personally, I felt that Ryan Gravenberch did very well as the number 6. He was a deeper right-hand sided midfielder. There were realistically only a couple of decisions for Arne Slot to make for his first competitive lineup, with the defensive midfielder being one of them. Fellow Dutchman Ryan Gravenberch got the nod for it, following a pre-season run out there. Whether it's actually down to Gravenberch's traits and talents, or the fact that it facilitates others to be in their better positions, is perhaps yet to be determined. Gravenberch starts in the 6 because he has the attributes to play there. He will develop into a 6. Him playing today will help Alexis McAllister play more forward, said the new boss before kick-off. What is a success? Hard to say definitely either way, given the varying states of fitness and players appeared in, but a description of hit or miss wouldn't have been unexpected anyway. Some was good, some will say worthy of a nod of appreciation at the intent. So for me, I felt it was a good decision to play Gravenberch there after he had the game against Seville, and obviously he played well in the first half and he played well in the second half. There's not many players in the Liverpool team that you can genuinely say played well in both halves. Like, nobody particularly played well in the first half, like apart from Gravenberch. If we could go through the whole team, Allison gave the ball away a couple of times in the first half. Didn't really have much to do, to be honest. Robbo was terrible in the first half. Virgil van Dijk nearly conceded us a goal in the first half. Quansah didn't win his battles in the first half. Trent looked really, really isolated and couldn't really get anywhere in the game in the first half. Then you got McAllister, who lost a lot of duels in the first half. Dominic Szoboszlai looked a bit lost in the first half by not being able to get into any space. Salah made a lot of runs, didn't really do much with the ball, didn't actually get the ball much. The passing was really poor. We were swamped. Jota, to be fair, probably played pretty well in the first half. So you've got the likes of Gravenberch and Jota that probably did okay in the first half, and Diaz was just running into blind alleys in the first half and obviously missed a big chance. That's pretty much where we sit with the first half. But we didn't concede a goal and we didn't concede any big chances. And that's huge, because last season we were behind in the first 15 minutes for every single game by 10. There's only 10 games in the Premier League that we didn't concede a goal in the first 15 minutes. That's how poor we were in the first half of games. We were so bad. Like, just put it into perspective. Yeah. The last time we had a clean sheet away in the Premier League was December last year. That's how poor we've been away to teams. Like, to be able to get a clean sheet against this team who haven't lost at home the whole of last year. Like, put that into perspective. They never lost a home game last year. Like that's how much form Ipswich were on. And I also want to give you some other numbers on Ipswich as well, by the way, just to put this into perspective. So I'm going to share this tab. I'm going to share a couple of tabs. So this one, this was Ipswich's form going into the game against us. They drew with what? So these are games from last season, by the way. Okay, so you've got 3 games from last season going into. So drew with Watford, drew with Middlesbrough, drew with Hull, beat Coventry away, and beat Huddersfield, and then obviously started the season with us. Yeah, Ipswich had 4 pre-season games, and I'm going to give you the scores. Oh, I can't find the bloody scores, can I? Okay, so Ipswich played. Okay, here they are. Okay, so Ipswich beat Nice at home, beat Hoffenheim away. These are That's a Spanish Premier League team. Sorry, that's a French First Division team. That's a Bundesliga team. They got beat by Fortuna Düsseldorf away. They beat Shakhtar Donetsk away. That's another. That's a Ukrainian Premier League team, and then obviously beat Huddersfield. Um, Beat Coventry. I mean, beating Coventry was a big enough game in itself because Coventry were right up there with them. Drew 3-3 with Hull, and obviously drew with Middlesbrough. So Ipswich had form going into this game. Like they genuinely had some form going into this game. Liverpool also had form going into this game. You know, um, am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I am. Liverpool drew with Las Palmas, but that was a pointless game because that was a behind closed doors game with loads of kids, basically. Beat 4-1 Seville, great game, played really well. Beat Man United 3-0, beat Arsenal and beat Real Betis. Like that's some great form taken into that game ourselves. And Ipswich took form into that game as well. And Ipswich haven't been in the Premier League in 22 years. Like that must have been a really hostile environment. Like their fans must have been there hours and hours before the game, and it was bouncing. I mean, I thought Ed Sheeran was going to do a concert like before the game. Like he's just bought shares in the club, but that was a really tough game. Like that's a real banana skin to play for your first game, 12:30 kickoff, which we're not great with, by the way, and it is a fact. We're not great with 12:30 kickoffs. It's been proven we're not. So, just wanted to put that out there that we can all be disgruntled and say that we didn't have a good first half, but we didn't concede any goals and we didn't concede any big chances, and we went away, licked our wounds, got to grips with things. Obviously, Slot had a huge say in that second half because he made that substitution and tweaked things because Dominic Szoboszlai was further forward and Jota came further back, and I'll show you in the heat map. And and that's what coaching's about. Like that is genuinely what coaching's about. And Slot said it in the press conference afterwards. Like he could be Liverpool manager for 7 years. He still won't be happy. There will still be things to improve. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep on improving. And that's what we're doing. And we did that in the second half. I think that's a bit harsh, mate, because they got 92 points last season and they've done a double promotion back to back. They're not a crap team. They're clearly not a crap team. Like I think they'll probably stay up, if I'm honest. I do think they'll probably stay up. They've signed some all right players, like, and they haven't got a crap team. I'm not having that one. Sorry. Um. Anyway, so let's continue. Uh, some other points. Arnie Slot presents a new character on the touchline. We're used to seeing plenty of energy, lots of gesticulations, some disbelieving smiles, and almost non-stop dialogue with the fourth official in the dugout from the Liverpool boss over the past few years. But Arnie Slot is clearly a different character, a different style of manager, and the first game showed it this much. Just some things to note. He was mostly on his feet, for sure, but it was calm, considered, asking the odd player across for a word and a pointer, but not really directing play or getting involved too much. Save for when one seamlessly harsh tackle from Massimo Lunga went unpunished. That moment and his fury angled at the fourth officials certainly showed he's there to defend his team, in his own way when called for. But for the most part, it was a studious and watchful first time on the touchline in the Premier League. Tactically, it was what we'd expect after pre-season, and the tactical decision to replace Gerald Quansah with Ibrahim Konate at half-time paid off. Also points to note, several players lacked rhythm. More often than not, over the last few years, Liverpool have played 6 or 7, sometimes more friendlies in the build-up to new seasons. Actually, let me take that off, sorry. Let me carry on. Often the early ones are full of kids and backups, but even so, the senior names get a bit more game time than has been the case this summer. Just one appearance in pre-season from some of the internationals who had a busy summer wasn't much of a rhythm setter, and that perhaps showed. Alexis McAllister certainly wasn't in his stride in any great measure, with Andy Robinson, a summer tournament, and then an injury, and looking way off the pace at some times. As a group, they of course haven't had much of a chance to play in the new way with the new patterns of play and expectations. So some rust and the odd moment lacking cohesion was to be expected in a way, even if it's the same group, which would aid familiarity overall. The opening games we already know are key to get points on the board, but we also need to see that the squad used well too. And another point to make: he's the first manager in I think 10 years to win his opening fixture at Liverpool. So we know how hard it is for new managers to win their first game, and he's already got that under the belt, which is great to see. What's this? Those are championship form, KMack. It's the day and night difference. We shouldn't get carried away. I didn't say get carried away. I'm just saying they're not a crap team. Like they literally never lost at home last season, so they clearly had form. Like you can't deny they didn't have form. Like they didn't lose at home last season. That's called form. Like I'm not making this up. Like that's what it's called. So carry on. Mo Salah has a battle on for usual top scorer award. We don't want to jump headfirst into opening day hot takes, but there have been plenty of suggestions that with a more focal point, higher starting number 9, it might be that Liverpool striker is their chief goal threat. While that might sound obvious to the fans of other teams, that's a new event for Liverpool given Mo Salah has been easily the best chance taker for the past few years. No doubt Mo will plunder himself once more. An optimistic finish got him up and running here already, but Jota looks very well suited to this role. He had 3 chances himself and took 1. Add in the fact that he's not fully up to speed, and that last term he had a brilliant hot streak, which showed he's an all-round predator now and could easily have a 2-horse race at the minimum. Darwin, Diaz, Gapco fancy joining in. Also, points to note, Dominic Szoboszlai is much more of a 10 than a number 8. The midfield variations is one of the parts of the team most interesting to watch develop this season under Slot. particularly as it's one of the few weaker areas of the side from the past year or three. For me, Dominic Szoboszlai is definitely a number 10, often alongside or beyond the striker in open play and looking to pick up the ball between lines on the turn to quickly move into the final third. That's a big contrast to where we saw two number 8s alongside each other previously and both looking to attack from behind play, often stopping or beyond the penalty box. This looks like suiting the number 8 far more, and we've also seen evidence that Harvey Elliott will enjoy it too. Lots more to come, no doubt, from the new attacking element of the team. I'm also going to cover some of what the fans have said. Okay, so this is some stuff that's come from the fans. All right, so this isn't me. This is from our fans. So our fans are obviously talking about things. Okay, so where is it? Where is it? Liverpool fans. Oops. Okay, is this the fans? Yeah. So from some of the fans, okay. Ryan Gravenberch proves he can run the show in encouraging number 6 outing. This is from some of the fans. He finished with 67 touches with an accuracy of 86%, was never dispossessed, made 9 passes into the final third, the joint most, and won 6 of 12 duels. He had a lot more space second half, but even so, Gravenberch very strong and grew into that performance. That's from Sean Rogers. Gravenberch has been tremendous second half, hasn't he? That's from L4 Cop. Looking at Canate, trusting Gravenberch has the ability to get the right touch on his fizzer of a pass. That was from Sam Maguire. And look at Gravenberch take it with pure composure with 2 men on him, hits the pauser and plays it to Trent. That's from Watch LFC. Gravenberch has absolutely run the show, but I also want to mention Dominic Szoboszlai. This second half has been absolutely outstanding. That's from Carl Thaler. I really like the one-touch football that we have significantly increased under Slot. Great goals by Diogo and Mo. From Skaranka Suresh. That number 6 position suits Gravenberch a whole lot better. Most composed game I've seen him in a Liverpool shirt. From Okban Sagati. This isn't the same Gravenberch we had under Klopp. Aliens have body swapped him. That's from Carson, WFC. And from Jan Molby, that pass by Gravenberch to Luis Diaz to create the chance was sublime. He used to do this regularly in his early Ajax days when he played the 10 role when needed by the manager. That's from Jan Molby. Someone wrote for a joke, Zubamendi will be studying that Gravenberch performance in bed tonight. That's by Josh Williams. If you haven't checked out Josh Williams, it's at Distance Covered on Twitter. He's absolutely brilliant. I get a lot of stats from him, Josh Williams. If you're watching this, Josh, big up. Anyway, that's a little bit of synopsis, and also just covering a couple of things about certain players that stood out. And I'm going to go into more detail about the actual game now. Like I said, this is a different format to maybe what you see on other channels, but this is something that I want to try as my my match review show. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to cover. Let me just close these screens. Let me just close that screen. Close that screen. Okay. I also wanted to cover this little article by Henry Jackson. Henry Jackson. On This Is Anfield, which I'm going to share now. Okay, where is it? Yeah, okay. Slot's new identity shows, but is Robinson back too soon? Liverpool's 2-0 victory away to Ipswich was an ideal way for Arne Slot's reign to start. Liverpool may have started slowly on Saturday, not firing at all in the first half, but their quality eventually shone throughout. Diogo Jota opened the scoring, ensuring Liverpool's started the campaign with maximum points. But seriously, it's so nice to start the season with a win, especially given that away to an especially up for Ipswich felt a pretty big banana skin. Gravenberch did a lot more right than wrong. Okay, so that's Michael Owen's assessment, but I wanted to talk about this. Owen, a degree of stiffness is forgivable for the first game back, but Robbo particularly looks as rusty as a barbecue left out during a Scottish summer. Back too soon, perhaps, although he wasn't the only one. Even the imperious Van Dijk had one or two lapses of concentration. That on another day and against better opposition might not have gone unpunished. Alexis McAllister also felt a bit anomalous in the first half, although as the team improved, so did the individual. Although our second half was tremendous, it definitely conceded with Ipswich fading as they reacquainted themselves with the rigour of top flight football for the first time in Harvey Elliott's lifetime. That's crazy. Harvey Elliott wasn't even born when Ipswich were last in the Prem. The scoreline flattered the home side, but let's not get carried away yet. Oh, and one more downside: the constant focus on TNT on Ipswich's left a half-time mega fan Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. Keep on saying players' names wrong. Robinson was a definite biggest negative for me. He was all over the place in the first half. There's no need for a reaction though. He simply needs more minutes. I don't think he needs more minutes. I think he needs less minutes, and he needs to get out of the club. Like I think we need to sell him. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to let us down this season. Is there any more stuff on Robbo? No, that's it. That's everything on Robbo. So what I was going to go into the actual game. Okay. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's funny though because he did leave and then they lost. What's that, Paul? Robbo needs to be sold. Yeah, no, I don't think he's been crap for 2 or 3 years. I think he's been crap for about a year and a half. Like, um, um, I mean, look, I was Gravenberch's number one critic last season. I thought he was awful last season. So he's like a new player for me. So I'm going to give him a chance to see how he gets on. But I still think we need a defensive-minded midfielder. Like I do. But we do have a guy who I really, really rate and think does need a chance, and that's Tyler Morton. Like I really rate Tyler Morton. Like I really rate Owen Beck. Like I feel these two guys could play a part this season. Like whether you believe me or not, or whether you agree with me or not, they're my thoughts. But it is what it is. Like I think Tyler Morton is better than Stefan Bajcetic. Like I think he's better than Stefan Bajcetic. I think he's got a higher ceiling. Like I think Tyler Morton could make it at another club and be an England international, and then we look at it and go, why didn't we play him? Like so for me, I want to see him play more games because every time I've seen him play, he's been really good. Like he's been really good every time he plays. So, you know, we can all sit here and go, oh, will he, played in the championship last season? Connor Bradley played in the championship, and Gerald Quansah played in the championship, and now these are first team players. So I've no idea why you can't look at him and go, well, Morton looks pretty good, doesn't he? Like, I've not seen Morton put a foot wrong. Never seen Morton have a bad game. Like, I just haven't. Like, every time he's played for Liverpool, he's been solid. Like, but he hasn't played for Liverpool with all the best players around him. So you can't judge a guy when he's always playing with the crapper players. Like, you know, you're playing a guy who plays with all of the reserve players, and he looks good. So put him in the team with all the other good players, and then he'll look even better, because that's what happens. Unfortunately, Bobby Clark was never going to get a game. He's never going to get a game. Like you've got Dominic Szoboszlai and Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. All, you know, they're all fighting for that 10 position and the 8 position. You know, we've still got Endo. Like, Bobby Clark just wasn't going to get a game, unfortunately. So we sold him on. You think he needs to be sold? I don't. I really don't. Like I'd send Stefan out on loan, and I'd probably sell Endo, and I'd probably give Morton a game. I'd probably try Morton. Like, play him at home against Brentford. Like, and you'll see how good he is. We can't judge him. We can't say he's crap when he's not played crap. Like, you can't say someone's rubbish when you've never seen them play for Liverpool. Like, and you've never seen them play badly for Liverpool. Like, you know, Owen Beck, I can't say he's crap for Liverpool because he's never played for Liverpool. Like, and when he has played, they've been meaningless games, and he hasn't been bad. So it's hard for me to say that players are rubbish when I've not seen them be rubbish to then say they are. Like, it just doesn't work like that for me. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Anyway, let's have a look at the game in general. So just breaking it down. This is the formation that we're supposed to have lined up with. So it was a 4-2-3-1, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. It never looked like that at all. So if you look at the average player positions, it was, I mean, to a certain extent, it was more of a 2-3-2. Sorry, it was a 2-3-2-1-2 in a way. Like, it really was. Like in the second half, Dom was here. Like, Dom was here. So it was more of a 2-3, because in the game you basically got Robbo and Trent supporting the midfield because they play so high up. They play next to the midfield. So they play quite narrow as well, because they do this underlapping run, which I think is brilliant, by the way. It looks brilliant. And they give them support here. So you've literally got Robbo, McAllister, Gravenberch, and then Trent all in a line, and then your 2 defenders behind them. And it looks really good. Like, it genuinely looks really good. And then you've got Jota, who drops into a false 9, and then you've got Dom that comes up into a false 9, and then you've got Diaz and Salah. So you basically got a 4 up as well. Like, and it looks great. It looks really good, and it gives us so many options. And when you've got this this tight bit of defensive midfield, they can't press you that high because they're going to leave their own defence weaker, because we then have 4 players basically in their half. So we have Jota, Dom, Salah and Diaz against their defenders. So they need to have at least 5 or 6 players back. So we end up having more domination of the ball because of that. And that's when we start the play. And that's when we control the midfield and we control the ball. And it shows. But it also gives us so many options, because we just look really solid. And that's why we didn't concede any big chances in the entire game, because the tactics work. They're really good tactics. So if we just look at the game in general, sorry, 2 seconds. Where's the game? Okay, yeah. So we just look at the game in general. So we look at the first half, because the first half was pretty even, if I'm honest. So Ipswich are in green and Liverpool are in blue. So we had more of the ball in the first half. We had very, very little in anything in attack. So that's why it was 0.09 for XG. No big chances. We had 3 shots in total. Our goalkeeper made 2 saves. Our goalkeeper made 2 saves, and we had 6 corners. So we had a lot of corners, and we did nothing with the corners. In fact, all we did with the corners was basically almost concede goals, because we had too many players in their box, and we lost the ball. Well, McAllister lost the ball a number of times. He was really poor in the transition from the corners, and we got counter-attacked a number of times, which is where they got most of their shots from. 2 of them were by Amari Richardson, who looks a decent player, by the way. He does look a decent player. We didn't make enough tackles, obviously, because of the Quansah situation, and he took him off. 2 of our shots were on target, but they weren't great shots. I think one of them was a header as well. And obviously we had shot off target, which was Trent over the bar, and we had a couple of shots blocked, and most of our shots were outside the box, which were poor. In fact, yeah, Diaz ballooned one over as well, didn't he? Tried one through ball, 204 accurate passes, better than them. Final third passes, loads of throw-ins. Didn't win enough duels, and that's exactly why Slot made the sub. 42% of duels, got dispossessed more, lost a lot of ground duels, as you can see, which means the manager's watching the game. The coach is watching the game and making decisions in the game. I'm sorry, but just Jurgen wouldn't have done that. Jurgen just wouldn't have done that. Jurgen very rarely made any half-time subs. It's just a fact. And the fact that it was 0-0, I don't think Jurgen would have changed anything. Jurgen would have waited till 60 minutes. And I can guarantee, by the way, we'd have been a goal down by 60 minutes, because we wouldn't have made any changes. And we would have just sat there and left it. It's just a fact. I'm sorry. It is just a fact. That's just what would have happened. It would have happened. And we would have probably brought Núñez on and took Jota off. And we'd have probably made another substitute in midfield for no particular reason. And then we'd lost control even more. There's just a fact. We would have made 2 or 3 substitutions, which would have just been standard substitutions that are always made on 60 minutes. And it would have been same for same, like for like, no change in tactics, nothing. It's just I was really encouraged by it. I really was. And if you just look at the numbers, he was watching the game. Like, we lost a lot of ground duels, and we didn't win enough aerial duels, and we couldn't dribble. Like, the tackles won were poor. Like, it just was. Like, so he noticed that, and he changed the game. And now I'm going to give you the second half because it's like chalk and cheese. Oops. I will give you the second half when I press it. Yeah, so here's the second half. Totally flipped on its head, went to 66%, expected goals 2.5, we scored 2, standard. 6 big chances, 15 shots from 3 in the first half. 4 corner kicks, more passing, more tackles, free kicks, more involved in the game. Total shots 15, 5 on target, 5 off target. Shots from inside the box, what I talked about in pre-season. More shots from inside the box increases your goals, just a fact. Big chances scored, 2 of them. Big chances missed, 4. 2 of them came down to Diaz. Obviously one of them was Jota, and I think one of them was Salah as well. Or it could have been Gapco. I need to have a look. More through balls, more accurate passing, more final third entries, better long balls, better crosses, better ground duels. Look at the aerial duels. Huge difference. Complete swing, also with dribbles. Just swung the other way and then went to 50% of tackles won, which is great. More recoveries. And it was just a great performance. Like, it could have been 5 or 6. It really could have. Like we have to really look at that. It could have been 5 or 6. So just it puts us into third place. We're joint with Arsenal. It doesn't really matter, like, to be honest. Like, we were top for a bit, which was good. I'm just going to go through the player statistics, by the way, just so you can see. Like, so just defense wise, just looking at some of our defenders. So Andy Robinson, so I want to see how many times he was dribbled past. He wasn't dribbled past. He only made 1 tackle. Like, and he made 1 interception. He made 1 clearance, and he did 3 defensive actions. Like, he was poor for me. He was really poor. Virgil van Dijk, 2 defensive actions, 2 clearances. He made an error that led to a shot. Obviously, last man tackle, which was from the Virgil van Dijk error. 7 defensive actions by Gerald Quanseth, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, which was brilliant, 1 interception, which was brilliant. Total tackles 2. Ryan Gravenberch doesn't really give you much on him. I mean, Jacob Greaves had an absolutely brilliant game. 11 defensive actions, 8 clearances. You can see where the ball was. Let's be fair. You can see where the ball was. Ball was mostly in their box. Looking at duels, 6 out of 12 duels won. 5 out of 11 ground duels, 1 aerial duel won. Lost possession 9 times. Personally, I think a lot of his fouls weren't fouls. Like, I genuinely believe a lot of his fouls just weren't fouls. Jota doesn't half get involved, doesn't he? Look at Jota. 3 out of 8 duels, 3 out of 5 aerial duels. Like, he gets involved so much in the game, and so does this guy. Like, but he's just fouls everyone all the time. 3 fouls committed by Diaz, and he wasn't fouled once. Like, he was our #1 fouler in the whole of last season, by the way. Like, I hate it. He gives away daft fouls. in dangerous positions, and so did Robbo as well, by the way. Like that foul he made on their guy that they nearly scored from. It was such a dumb foul. Trent, a couple of ground duels won, lost possession a fair few times as well. He was fouled twice. Dom was involved a bit more in the ground duels. Didn't win many aerial duels. Was fouled a couple of times. Mo Salah didn't really get involved, if I'm honest. Big chances created by Mo. Big chances created by Dom. 2 created by Trent. 1 created by Luis Diaz. Dom's passing was insane. So anyone who comes at me saying that Dom can't pass, he had a great game passing, 91%. The only person that was better was Virgil with 94. But Virgil's on in those type of areas. Just think of this as well, though. How many long balls Virgil played? 7 long balls. 5 of them got to the player that they needed to. That's insane. Like Trent tried 14 and 5. Trent's long balls in the first half were diabolical. They just kept on going to the man, and they kept on coming back to us. Like that needs to be eradicated out of his game. If we're not in control, we can't be letting him do those needless long balls because they don't help us. Look at the attack. Mo had a big chance. Luis Diaz had a big chance. Jota had that big chance, and Connor Bradley. Oh yeah, Connor Bradley had that big chance right at the end that he should have scored. It's just a good game. Like second half, it was a good game. First half, we were just solid. We kind of took it, just took it on the chin and seen what they could give us. And there was a lot of players I felt in the team, that just weren't playing slot ball. I just didn't feel like they were really playing the tactics and the style of play that Arnie Slot wanted. So I just thought it was interesting that we switched it and it worked second half. That's kind of my review on the game. Just a couple of stats from the stat pack. So Liverpool boss Arnie Slot celebrate the first Premier League match win with a 2-0 victory against newly approached Ipswich. After winning back-to-back promotion, Ipswich showed no sign of intimidation, promising first half display. So the best players for Ipswich were Jacob Greaves, Amari Gray. I thought best players for Liverpool, I thought were Gravenberch, Salah, and Diogo Jota. I thought Dom was good, but only in the second half. I don't know whether I can show you the goals. I think I can show you the goals. Actually, I'll show you the goals. I just won't have any sound on. Okay. Do you know whether you get you don't get your channel bust, do you, if you show goals? Can you let me know in the chat? Can you show goals on your channel? Can you let me know in the chat? I'm going to show them anyway. Sod it. Okay, so that's the first goal. I thought that was a great little finish. And then you got the, also just some stats on Salah. 42 touches, 11 in the opposition box, 4 shots, 3 on target, 2 chances created, 2 big chances, 1 goal, 1 assist. That's his 350th game with 212 goals and 88 assists. Isn't that nuts? Like, and there was people saying that we're all right without him. Like, he can go. Like, he's 32. He's only 32 years old. Like, Lewandowski's still banging goals in for Barcelona, and he's 37. Like, let that sink in. Like, we've still got 3 years left to mow at full pelt. We've still got 3 years left to mow at full pelt. Like, it's going nowhere. Couple more stats. Liverpool have conceded 13 fouls against Ipswich so far, the most in the first half of a Premier League game since February 2009 against Chelsea. Mo Salah now has the most match day 1 goals and goal involvements, 14 in Premier League history. Crazy numbers, man. Just crazy numbers by Mo. Crazy numbers. Also, Arne Slot is just the second LFC manager in the Premier League era to record a victory in his league debut after Gerard Houllier in 1998 in a joint management role with Roy Evans. Great start. I also wanted to cover, where is it? Yeah, I also wanted to cover some info, some of this before I finish. So £45 million player set to quit after being linked with a move to Chelsea. So Joe Gomez has been linked with a move away with Chelsea, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Manchester United also popped up as well somehow, like, and Aston Villa. I think we're willing to accept 40 million for him, by the way. I do think we'll probably accept 40 million. So, according to the Daily Mail, Gomez is considering options, already attracted interest from a number of clubs in the Premier League. According to the Times, Chelsea is one of the interested parties, whilst Fulham and Aston Villa, Fulham won't be after him. He's too rich for them, I think. 27-year-old almost agreed. Well, he agreed to switch to Newcastle, and we also had the medicals booked. But that never happened. I thought I would say, though, is we are not forcing him out the club. So we haven't told him that we don't want him. We're more than happy for Gomez to stay. However, if he wants to move, then he can. What I will say on Gomez, though, by the way, is this guy is 27 years old and he's played about as much football as a 23-year-old. Like, he just has. Like he hasn't played a huge amount of football for Liverpool in his entire career. It's just a fact. So for us to all sit here and say, oh, he should stay, blah, 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 like, he isn't going to play a huge amount of football for Liverpool anyway, because he's third choice left back, third choice right back, and possibly fourth or fifth choice centre back. So what are you supposed to do? Like you can be greedy and keep him, but if the guy wants to go and play football, then he should go and play football. Like, he should be playing more football. He's an England international. He's a really good player. Like, he could probably get into almost, I would say, bar 4 or 5 teams, he could probably get into all of their teams as either a centre back, a right back. Like, that's just a fact. That's how good Joe Gomez is. So if we can get 40, 45 million for him and invest that into another defender, then I'm absolutely fine with it, because we need another defender, and we need a defender that can play left back. I know Gomez can play left back, and I know he was probably the best English left back in the league last season. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to play the way Slot wants him to. Like, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to play that way with him. So we probably are going to have to look at another guy who's going to be more of a left back, more of a wing back type player, where he can overlap and underlap and knows how to make those runs and knows how to maybe dribble past players. And is just a more athletic player and also reliable. Because, like I said, if you look at Gomez's numbers as actually playing football, he's played about as much football as a 23-year-old. And it's just a shame, but it is what it is. So I feel like he will be sold. I feel like a team will come in and they will pay the price for him, and I think he will be sold. Also, another player we've been linked with, Jetro Dahl, and he's a 6'4" central midfielder who plays for Tromsø in Norway. He's 18 years old. He's a player that we've been looking at. He plays for the Norway under 21s now. He's played 40 times for Tromsø and he's made 6 appearances for his under 19s. Tottenham, Villa, Borussia Dortmund have all been looking at him. Just another player. Thought I'd mention it. I thought I'd bring this one up because it's kind of mad, if I'm honest, because there's a really high odds on Sky for this guy. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see Jared Brathwaite being sold to Liverpool. If they're turning down bids from Manchester United, then I don't see them accepting bids from us, because we're probably going to offer less. He didn't play the last game, by the way. I thought I'd just let you know that, which is an interesting one. Sky Bet have slashed the odds. He had a really good season for Dutch side PSV, where he played 35 out of 38 games for them. 22-year-old impressed for Sean Dyche. He got called up to the England provisional squad. He obviously didn't make it. He's obviously 2 bids from Manchester United have been turned down for him. He's contracted until 2027. So John Aldridge urged us to make us to try and sign him. I don't want to upset any Evertonians by saying this, and whether Liverpool would buy from Everton is another matter, as it really happens. But I clearly think he's got the ability to go on and become a leading figure and starter for England. Jurgen Klopp even talked about him. He's a left-sided centre-back and he's left-footed. And we are crying out for one. And I think what's really interesting about him is he's already in the Northwest. So you're not having to sell moving to the UK. You're not having to sell moving to the Northwest. Like, I would say that's probably one of the hardest things to do right now. Because, you know, it's a big change trying to get an Italian or a Portuguese or a Spanish or a German out of their country and move them over to Liverpool. I think that's hard to do. I think the London pull will always win over. But this guy lives in Liverpool. Like 60 million. Manchester United offered like I think 52 million. Like 60 million and 10 million in add-ons. Like I think he's worth it. I think he's worth it. I really do. That's one that I would like to see happen. I think he's a great player. I mean, can you imagine that team where you've got Gerald Quansah and Jared Brathwaite, like potentially two England centre backs for the next 10 years, like literally side by side, pair of them, like as our backup centre backs to Van Dijk and Canate. I wouldn't have an issue playing him like whenever. Wouldn't have an issue. And even if you wanted him as a left back, he could play left back. He's really good as a left back, especially as a more defensive minded left back. I think it'd be a great signing. Thought I'd mention him. The Mamadashvili stuff, Manchester United are now linked with him. If Jadon Sancho goes to PSG, they may make a bid, but I do think the Mamadashvili deal is probably going to go through. It's going to be about 30 million. I think it's a good deal. I also wanted to mention that Timo Cooper-Mears has been left out of Juventus's games, and he's also gone on strike. And Juventus have offered 52 million euros plus 7 million add-ons. It's still not enough. They still want more. Also, we've been linked with Ademola Lookman. PSG and Saudi Arabia are looking at him, and he's probably going to cost 50 million. So I don't think that's something we're going to entertain. And I'm not sure we paid 50 million for a 26-year-old. I think that's a bit different. Also, Cooper Mings is 26 as well, or 27 maybe now. I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, Andy Robinson was waxing lyrical about Mo Salah. Mo looks exceptional. Mo looks after his body exceptionally well. He's a model professional, someone everyone looks up to. He leaves no stone unturned, and that's why he's still in incredible shape. Long may it continue. It is our main man is playing like that. It's going to help the team. Yeah, basically he said that he carried the team at one stage. He was probably carrying you as well, Robbo, because you were crap. I also wanted to cover this as well, which is really weird, if I've got to be honest. So let me know in the chat if you know about this article. So the owner of Real Sociedad has said that Martin Zubimendi could still leave. If you've heard this, then let me know. I'm going to read the article to you. So Real Sociedad boss has claimed that there is still no guarantee that Martin Zubimendi will remain at the club before the transfer window shuts. The quote is, where is it? Here. The manager suggested he is still not fully sure if Zubimendi will stay at the Real ahead of the window closing on August the 3rd. He said it has not been complicated at all. It is what happens every year to all coaches, clubs, and sporting directors. Every summer there is movement. Marino and Lenormand, there are no two players like them, and it won't even tell you if Zubimendi leaves us at the last minute. They are irreplaceable players because of what they have done. We are talking about Lenormand leaving, Arsenal want Moreno, and Liverpool were willing to pay the release clause for Zubimendi. But we cannot always look for an excuse when Marino and Le Monde, if are not there, if things don't work out for us. Zubimendi was only able to make an introduction at half time, having made just one substitute cameo appearance. He claimed that he was under incredible pressure under incredible pressure and fit. So I thought I'd just mention that because I think that's quite interesting. That his own manager has said that he might not stay. I personally think a lot of it is down to his family, and if he can persuade his family, then it could be game on. I also wanted to say as well, Zubimendi would have been absolutely swamped in the first half. Like that would have been a baptism of fire to the Premier League for Zubimendi, and he wouldn't have had a great game either in the first half. It's just a fact. Like if he'd have played instead of Gravenberch and it would have been him and McAllister, I think we'd have lost that game in the first half. I genuinely do. I'm sorry. Like I genuinely do. We needed more speed, more bite. We needed someone who's a bit more action. Those two wouldn't have been it for me. I don't know what you think, but it would have been a baptism of fire for him. So we've now been linked with another player, and I know there's been people in the past that have mentioned this guy, but we've now been linked with Adrian Truffert, who plays for Rennes, and he's a really good left back, really good French left back. He's 23 years old, I believe. I'm going to give you some details here. News that Gomez's reduced price tag will please Newcastle. Newcastle might go for him because they still haven't got the Mark Gahey deal over the line. So they've got money because they've offered 55 million and 5 million add-ons for Gahey, and Palace have said no, they want 70 million. So Gomez could go because that's a really good option for them, and that's a good move for Gomez, by the way. I think he'll get game time there. I think he'll probably end up being their main centre back next to the Dutch lad. I can't remember his name. French newspaper L'Equipe revealed that Liverpool have joined Manchester United and Wolves in monitoring Adrian Truffert, who currently plays for Rennes. Truffert enjoyed a good 2003-2004, registering 2 goals and 7 assists in 43 games from left back. He also played for France in the Olympics. Now, the interesting thing about that is Sven Botman. Yeah, big up Hanneman. He's the other centre back. The interesting thing is Richard Hughes said that he was waiting for the Olympics to finish. So maybe this could have a factor. Maybe we could be waiting for him. You know, he could be a guy that might be a last minute signing. He did say the last 2 weeks would be frantic. Also, someone else that was at the Olympics was Manu Kone. Just saying. Just saying. What else have we got on him? 2 seconds. Liverpool will need to pay significant fee to get Rennes to sell the Belgian-born ace. Did I say he was French? No, I didn't say he was French. I said he was playing in France, but he's actually Belgium. However, they're hoping to keep him on their books for at least another season. West Ham were quoted 15 million for him last summer. I think he'll probably be 25. If I'm honest, he wouldn't have gone up any more than that. What is interesting though is and I'll point at this guy in particular, is maybe we haven't got the Nori signing done because Wolves might be signing Truffert to replace him, and then maybe we get the Nori signing. Like, there could be a merry-go-round. There could well be a merry-go-round. Thought I'd just mention that. What's that one thing that's important? If we're not going to buy anyone, we have to sort out. I know. I know. I did want to touch on the contracts as well. I'll do that in the last 10 minutes. So I think also got another player which is possibly leaving. Not in our first team, but he's done well for our under 21s, and that's Harvey Blair. So it looks like Harvey Blair's going to Portsmouth. He's also interested in things like Reading as well. Just to let you know, 16 games, 10 goals, 5 assists. Harvey Blair in the Premier League, under 18s. So, and he looked okay. I mean, let's be fair, he looked okay in the pre-season, but he's an under 21 player, so he can go. I also wanted to share this as well, which is being talked about in the Mirror today. So Darwin Núñez was an unused substitute for Liverpool's first Premier League. New data around the Uruguayan's recruitment suggests potentially challenging future, despite assurances of the new manager of his importance. Núñez joined Liverpool from Benfica in a deal with up to 85 million. The signing was largely driven by Jurgen, who was impressed because he played well against us, which is ridiculous. Since his arrival, the 25-year-old netted 33 times in 96 appearances. It's not too bad, but it's how many he's missed. Last season, he scored 11 times with 8 assists. Even so, Núñez became disillusioned under the German last season after being called from the starting lineup. Aware of Núñez's distress, Slot phoned Núñez before his arrival and told him he'll have a significant role to play. However, Ian Graham's new book said that Núñez was not a player that they recommended. The difficulty with Núñez, that he was a very different type of player to Roberto Firmino. My questions were, are we going to change our style or formation for him? Is he good enough that it might be worth making those changes? It was something we had resisted for many years. We went through the same data process for Núñez as of other players. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew what a big change it would be with Núñez. It was more, are we going to, it was more, are we sure we're going to make the best use of him? He added, I talk in the book about classifying players to understand what their role is. This is the problem. It's a massive, massive problem. Like, and I totally agree with Ian Graham. Like, if you wanted to play the way Liverpool won everything in the past, then you sign the players to play that way. But Jurgen just didn't. He just decided, I just want this guy, and I just want this guy. And if I'm completely honest, that's exactly what Brendan Rodgers did. And look where it got us. We ended up not winning stuff, and we ended up finishing poorly. And it happened with Jurgen because he ended up just signing players because he liked them. Like, they don't fit the system. They don't fit the style we play. Like, you're putting square pegs in round holes. And that's what he did numerous occasions with a number of players. And that's got to change. That has to change now. And we need that to change. What's that, Mark? Is a beast of a left back. We should go all out for him. He's like Robbo 5 years ago. 25 million? No brainer, mate. Mate, I'll take your word for it, mate. He is French, isn't he? I thought he was French. Yeah, I wasn't sure though, but yeah, I think he's French. What's that? Blair. Blair looks decent, but he's behind Dan's. Yeah, he is. He's also a couple of years older as well. Liverpool had to change. Bobby left. The thing about it though is we didn't. We didn't change. We still played the same way, but we put Nunes in there, who clearly couldn't play that way. So we had to change, but we didn't. We still played the same way. Like all we did was chuck Trent into midfield halfway in the games, which ruined us. Anyway, things are different now. Things are looking different. It appears that Nunes may not be suitable for LFC at this time. Nunes in it. Yep. Well, he's being dropped. Like he's on the bench. He didn't come off the bench. What's that about Robbo? Yeah, no, we do have to trust him. I totally agree. Looks like I've got some new people in the chat here. If you're a new subscriber, can you let me know, and I'll give you a salute and welcome you to the family. Can you let me know if you're a new subscriber, or if you're new in the chat and you haven't subscribed, please do, and let me know, because that would be great. I'm on the road to 500. I think I'm at 477, maybe. So if I could get a couple of subscribers today, that would be brilliant. There's 63 of you in here. And if you can also hit the like, that would be fantastic. Have I got any more news? I think I have. Yeah, I've got some news here as well. Yeah, I have. Okay. So I'm just going to share this screen and I'm going to read a few things out because there's quite a lot on this page. How Liverpool players have responded in training after onslaught, explained Jurgen Klopp change. So a couple of things. I was going to do this bit here. According to the Times, can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. I'll big up. Welcome to the channel. Amarim 1980. Big up Jones Doherty. Welcome to the channel. Also big up Amrish. Welcome to the channel. Fantastic, 3 new subscribers there. Love it. Absolutely love it. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so little bit of an update from the Times about only slot in the training. According to the Times, a tactical move to place more emphasis on 1 and 2 touch play has seen a change in rondos in training. The drill, where 1 or 2 players in the middle attempt to win the ball back as those in the circle around them quickly knock it between each other, is now a main part of the session rather than a warm-up exercise. Oh, big up Abdul as well. Welcome to the channel. Fantastic. If you are a new subscriber, please let us know in the chat, and everybody can welcome you. This is how we want to do things. We want everyone to feel a part of the family. And what I also do as well is I also make sure that I don't do my shows that go over other people's shows, because I know that we all have similar interest and all follow similar channel content providers for Liverpool FC. So I try not to do my shows when other people are doing their shows, because we all want to see content. So I don't want you to have to switch over all the time. That's not really fair. Like, I feel like I don't want to take other people's viewers. I'd like all mine to watch my show and then maybe go over to another show and watch another show, because I'll probably do the same. So that's how I do things as well. And I also recommend, if you haven't subscribed to me, you subscribe to Jamie Phillips chat, football chat, Ensman, Monts, Big Six Bants, Coppish, 12th Man, GTV, Bayesian Beijing Reds, Fozzie. Have I missed any out? I really hope I haven't missed any out. I think I probably missed one out. Let me know in the chat if I've missed one out. I hope I haven't. Quasi Bold. Oh, sorry, I can't miss out Quasi Bold. I'm on Quasi Bold's channel a lot. Sorry, Quasi. And also Jerry James as well. Please check out Jerry James as well. No. So Slot and his assistants, including Spike Hussolf, discourage fancy flicks and tricks, and the emphasis is on keeping possession for as sustained a period as possible. Also Grizz Khan as well, by the way, Grizz Khan. They want to focus. They want the focus to be an opening. They want the focus to be on opening up a player's body shape and concentrating on moving into better positions, making passes similar. So basically, a big giant rondo in the middle of the park, and it's fantastic. Like big giant rondo in the middle of the park, and once you get past that, you're clean on their team. Yeah, that's a good channel actually. I did check that out, but he does do some mad stuff, like talks about non-football stuff in the middle of the actual show, which I find a little bit confusing. But yeah, it's good. Oh, Born Red as well, but they don't do much shows anymore. But yeah, Born and Red's good as well. Yeah, definitely Jamie's. If you're not subscribed to Jamie's, please subscribe to Jamie's. Also, there's some other bits here that I wanted to cover on this. Okay, so maybe the only slight difference here is that after we win the ball, we like to go forward just as Jurgen liked, but I sometimes like it when players try to keep the ball and not play the difficult ball, where Jurgen or the former regime maybe like the chaotic scenes in and around the 16 a lot as well. They were really, really, really successful with that for so many years. The Liverpool squad is unsurprisingly said to have wholeheartedly got on board with the changes and thrown themselves into the sessions with 100% conviction. Slot's attention to detail, meanwhile, means that they are pushed and challenged as much as possible. A new voice around the training ground and a new head coach to impress cannot be bad for keeping things refreshed. Ruben Peters adds, has tweaked some of the sessions to listen to how the players are feeling physically. The work of the lead physical performance coach will be vital for preventing injuries and managing the roster effectively, with Liverpool currently having no problems on the medical front. I bet we're only one game in. How many times did we start the season with players injured? How many times did we get injuries in pre-season? Like sometimes we were done in. Oh, sorry, I also missed out Dugout Football Channel as well. I also missed out. God, I missed out a couple of channels more. I also missed out Jack's channel. Actually, I'm gonna have to find out what his channel's called. Bear with me. Sorry, Anfield Road, and also Spider. If you haven't subbed to those channels as well, also check them out. Anfield Road TV and also Spider, and also Dugout Football as well. If you have got your own channel, please put it in the chat, and some of my subscribers, I'm sure, will go and check it out. Carnage, yeah, I did say Grizz Khan. Where are we up? Okay. Yeah, so I just think that's really interesting that yeah, Anfield Index. That's one of my favorite channels, by the way. Anfield Index. I get a lot of my stats from Anfield Index. Dave Hendrick, also the Under Pressure boys, unbelievable stuff. And Josh also. I just gave you Josh's Twitter before. He does brilliant stats. I think it's interesting that we've got the fitness performance guy who's actually in the training sessions, making sure that players aren't on overdoing it and making sure that their performance is or their fitness is okay. Maybe that wasn't something that we did in the past. Like, I don't know. Like, but so far so good. And the fact that some of the players aren't playing and some of the players are clearly being rested. Like, some of the players were rested in pre-season. Like, some of the kids were, and we were asked, like, well, where are they? Like why aren't these players playing? Like why isn't Van der Beek playing, or why isn't this guy playing? And the manager said he's a kid. Like, he shouldn't train that much, or he's overdone it. Like, he shouldn't be playing that much, so we need to rest him. And I think that stuff's really sensible. And I also done a show two of my previous shows ago where I actually looked at how many injuries we got last season and just how it affected us. And if we can mitigate those injuries this season, it's like having new players. Like, it's like having a new player. Like, some of the injuries we had were so bad and they were injured for so long that it is like just having a new player in the team, because they'll get to play more and they'll get to impact games more when they didn't have that because they were injured. What's that about? Kuipers. Yeah, I did. I did mention Kuiper as a potential target. I did a, I mean, I did a brief synopsis on him a couple of shows ago. I mean, the guy got like 14 assists last season, I think. Like, he's a bit of a monster. Like, he's also Belgium. He plays for Club Bruges, and he's still only 22. Like, they are for me statistical data driven players. Kuiper and Truffert. They are both the players that would be on the stats. If you're looking at players with high percentage of uh, possession, assists, goals, creativity, um, that kind of all action left back that's going to maraud up and down, underlap, overlap, basically do what Bradley does, but on the left, then those two guys are going to be high on that list for me. They're going to be high on that list. Um, I don't know what you mean by that. Has Allison resigned? What? Hang on, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna have a quick look. What's that? Um, no, I don't. I don't see anything. I don't see anything in there. Um, I mean, I have seen something that talks about if Arsenal don't get Marino, then there's a high possibility that we might get Zubimendi, because there's nothing holding Real Sociedad back then, and they would accept him to leave. New contract, maybe declined. Yeah, I think he means declined. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, yeah, I thought I'm all in with Varela. Like, I've told you, like, Varela, absolutely. Like, he'd be my number one pick. Like, well, my number one pick would be Bruno Guimaraes. Think about it though, is like, if Joe Gomez is going to go to Newcastle, can't we just can't we just chuck another 50 million at Newcastle and say, can we have Guimaraes and you can have Gomez as a swap? Like, and oh, an interesting one as well that you didn't know. Eze's release clause has ended, which means that he's probably not going to leave, because he hasn't got a £60 million release clause anymore, so they can sell him for how much they want. And Crystal Palace also haven't sold Gahey, and they haven't signed Maxime Lacroix either. And I think that's pretty much all I'm going to cover today, guys. Big up everyone that's tuned in. Big up all the new subscribers. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. If you've got any comments to add, please put them in the comment section. I'll try and reply back to you, and I'll do another show in the next couple of days when I probably do a preview for the next game, which is Brentford at home. And I look forward to that. And you have a wonderful day and the rest of your week. And up the Reds. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.